record to the
Can we
clock.
like take a moment and admire your eyebrows though?
Oh my gosh, no, that's horrible. I need to get them done.
Oh, no, that's
Thank
good.
you. Let me set this up. Okay. Sorry, where were we? Or continue.
Yeah, basically that note addresses a lot of what we were kind of like complaining about last time in terms of like there's no interior life and like it's hard to be invested in. How much of it like did they like, how much of it are they like they only have certain facts and then they're just trying to like be respectful but then also like create a narrative. Like that note really kind of explained that, and it really turns out that yes, like everything we're bringing up is like what they were struggling with. Like that's why she has like they're making inferences about how she would act. They're making inferences about like certain situations.
Yeah.
Didn't she burn all her documentation?
Yeah, and that's another thing is that like I guess Belle was really secretive and she didn't want anyone to know about the fact that she was passing, and so she like destroyed all of this evidence. So that was also what made it hard for the authors.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It sounded like she kept certain correspondence like that she wanted them to have. And then a lot of it got rid of.
I kind of want to read some of the books they mentioned.
Yeah, she listed a bunch of books that they drew, like that they used as sources and stuff. And there's like a book about Belle, there's a book about Bernard Berenson, there's a book about J.P. Morgan. So I thought that was interesting because I was like, wow, like we're like noticing that. And I wonder if that like, I know that they did their best, but I don't know if it really worked because we had major issues with that. So
yeah, as I was reading the notes, I think the first one, I forgot who it was, but when they were saying, oh, actually this wasn't true, or this wasn't how it went, and we kind of took an educated guess, I'm like, well, you could have lied a little bit more and made it more interesting, you know? Like you were already technically not going with like what was on there. And then in the end, you could have said like, oh, actually this didn't happen, but we were, trying to create a story to like capture attention or whatever. I don't know. I was kind of disappointed because I'm like, yeah, basically nothing's true, or not nothing, but for the most part. And I was like, okay. But in the end, I think the notes were actually the thing that made me like the book more, because a white lady is over here coming up with the idea, but she's like, I can't speak about a Black lady. I have to make sure I bring in someone, which at first I was like, it makes it seem like I need a token Black person so people don't attack me, But I think it was nice. So then you can have two people and then they became really close friends or sisters or whatever, So I liked it, but yeah, it was weird. I was like, you could have lied a little more.
I still think maybe it would have worked better as a miniseries.
Yes.
Rather than a book.
Or like an episode on the History Channel with like dramatic reenactments, something.
I can see that.
I would like to see J.P. Morgan and Belle kiss.
I couldn't like not see the picture every time one of those scenes came up.
I know.
Oh man.
I just can't imagine it.
Seriously.
I wonder, I feel like it would be interesting that if they kind of mentioned at the beginning as like kind of almost a disclaimer without giving spoilers, like heads up, like a lot of her actual correspondence was burned. We did the best we could, and then we could have like kind of been like a little more cognizant of that going into it, I guess. And then after we could read the historical note and say like, oh, okay, these were the missing bits.
So they found out she was Black just through little bits and pieces in other books.
They never actually said that, but I wonder, they referenced this biography about Belle, And maybe that biography mentions how they found out, because they, in the historical notes, they didn't say how it was found out that she was passing.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually was wondering that too. I was like, wait, but like, how do they know?
Mm-hmm.
I'll read the book.
Because they did say that that was the one thing she was trying to really keep private. And one of the things that obviously she didn't leave out for someone to find or anything.
Maybe
That's interesting. Ancestors?
maybe and someone else's correspondence, like another letter from Belle to them, like the uncle or the sisters or the dad. That's the only thing I can think of.
So do you think like the Morgan family found out about her heritage like soon after she died, or do you think it was not until this biographer started like digging around? Like, when was that?
That's a good question.
I thought the book would mention, like, when there was that, what was it? The person who was interviewing her, and they were like, oh, were you intimate with JP Morgan, or was there something going on? And then the following question, I thought it was gonna be like her saying, by the way, hey, I'm Black, just a little, I don't know, to
Or like
get
my
to people's
real
attention.
last name.
Yeah, but she
Mhm.
didn't, and I was like, well, okay, cool, but it would have been nice to know how everyone knew.
Oh, she could not erase the birth certificate identifying her as colored. Nearly 50 years later, historian Jean Strauss, author of Morgan, American Financier, revealed the truth in her definitive 1999 biography.
Mm.
So it was only found out like 20-ish years ago.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
for-
back then, like, they're not going to go and like check your birth certificate,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and they're not going to go into like the records to like
Yeah.
check what was on your parents' birth certificate or what they registered in the census or whatever. So
Mhm.
it's so interesting. Like,
It is.
for so long, like the secret was kept.
Or do you think it's like people kind of knew or maybe suspected, like Anne, and then they either just didn't say anything because she could pass? Like it was just like swept under the rug, or like they just like went on, kind of ignored it.
Yeah, I think in the notes they said like one of the major things that were missing was how she actually felt about passing and how she felt about that whole thing. So like we don't know if there were like instances in her life where someone kind of knew. Like we don't know based on the book like that actually happened. They just like they said that they used a lot of like the Black authors' grandmother's experience passing to like inform how they wrote Belle.
I wonder if in the book they decided not to have people question it because I mean that would force like a climax, but then also maybe in the book JP Morgan would become like really mad that someone was suggesting that, his librarian was colored just because of how racist people work. Sometimes it was like more okay and open to be racist. I don't know. That could be something. And then because if that was going to be revealed, it would kind of force an end to the story, I feel. And then it wasn't revealed in real life, so I guess they couldn't have it happen in the book. Makes sense. I wonder how she died. I'm trying to look it up.
I think she just died of old age. I think.
What age did she die?
Let me look it
I
up.
think
I'm
she
on her
died in the
Wikipedia page.
50s or the 60s.
In the 50s, yeah.
Jeez.
So she was about 70 years old.
Hmm.
Yeah, so she lived a pretty long life. What did you all think about the dad meeting the dad when she found him in the diner in Chicago or Illinois. Oh, Chicago is in Illinois. Sorry, I'm a little sleepy. And I thought it was interesting how she was expecting like all this absolution or a direction from her father, but she didn't necessarily get it.
Yeah,
thought it
kinda
was satisfying.
Go ahead, Alpha.
Julie, go.
Okay, I was just surprised, like, he of all people would say, you know, keep hiding your identity because you're successful.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of kind of like closure for Belle at the end, but it all happened so fast. Like again, like it was kind of satisfying, but also it was like happening so fast that it didn't fully feel like, I don't know, it felt rushed a little bit.
I agree with that because he just appeared a tiny little bit and then he just kind of disappeared and he's dead. And I mean, I think it was important for him to talk to her about her identity and all that stuff. Because I feel like if he would have said, no, stick with your roots, she probably would have. Or maybe would have come clean about it. But yeah, I don't know. I think they rushed it for sure. Because it was a tiny little bit. And I did actually enjoy that bit more of the other parts. And I'm just like, you know what? Give me more of that. And they didn't, of course.
Because him leaving was a huge part of her life.
Mhm.
And beginning of the book, she was so positive about their relationship when she was younger. And it was interesting. And then it's like, oh, a random diner. And then-
Then he's dead.
Yeah.
So fast. So
Yeah.
fast.
They dropped quickly in that book.
But wasn't it like 5 years
They were
later?
old.
Wasn't it like years later though?
Mhm.
Yeah, that was
I
what
was-
was so confusing because it would like skip really far in time. At the end, it was confusing to know like how much time had passed.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised they never saw each other like after that, because after that meeting went so well, I thought they'd get together. But I guess since he encouraged her to hide her identity, it was too risky. And instead, she like read his writing.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like at that point she should have still reached out. And I mean, I understand she's still trying to hide and not have people see her with, a colored person and then they're gonna speculate or whatever. But I feel like JP Morgan's already gone. She's already like wealthy, one with the money and all that stuff. It wouldn't hurt to risk a little bit, but I don't know. I'm not her. Maybe there
feel
was
like-
other stuff.
I feel like would be easier to hide like through letter writing too, because it's not like now we have social media, we could upload things instantly. I feel like maybe if she created a pseudonym and said like, okay, when we write each other, you're gonna be this
Yeah.
name, I'll be this name, and then we can at least keep up a correspondence that way.
Yeah.
Maybe that was something she burned.
Oh, that's true.
So they wouldn't find her identity. True. That could be it.
That makes sense because I feel like her father and her had more similar interests and kind of minds, and I feel like the dad also favored her a little bit. So it would be sad if, I hope they did write letters to each other. It'd be sad if they didn't.
What would you rate it? Out of 5.
Yeah. 3.
3.5. I gave it a 4 on Goodreads though, because I couldn't decide like 3 or 4, but I think it's just because I also really enjoy history stuff. So I did like that part of it.
Yeah, I'm between a 3.5. It
Same,
wasn't
3,
horrible,
3.5.
but yeah, they're just that insightful thoughts. They weren't
Mhm.
there, and it was rushed. And I wasn't like, I must read now. I was like, I could wait. And then I think I rate based off if I'm listening on an audiobook. Because if I'm doing that, I'm really not interested, or I'm not really like into it. So that happened to me half of the book. This last section, it was all audiobook, and I'm like, this is sad. That's how I know I don't like it. So I'm like, I can't give it a 4. But yeah, I think a 3 would be for me. But once again, I'm not a history person, so that's also some bias in there.
I think I started to rate at least the book club books like based on other book club books that we've read that we've been like, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen? And you know, that feeling of like, oh snap, I need to read this as soon as I can, but also like spaced out enough so I could still remember what happened for
Yeah,
book club.
yeah, that too.
I'm with you, Judith, like a 3 to 3.5, because I never have heard of her before. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
Like we were saying, I think the most interesting part of the book is her passing as a white woman. And I think what would be even more interesting is the psychological effect that would have on somebody. But we don't know how it affected her because they didn't want to be disrespectful to her. If they had that element, it would probably be like a 4.5, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to really connect with the main character because you didn't feel like you were really getting into her head and really getting into her feelings and her experience. And it just never, it felt like inconsistent to me at times too. So which is weird because I think some of the other characters were very like easy to understand, like JP Morgan. Like I totally got him and how he acted. I got his daughter, like even Bernard Berenson, like I could tell that guy was like a sleaze. Like he had sleaze energy throughout. Like everybody was pretty consistent, but our main character, like you couldn't really get into her, you couldn't really like inhabit her like thought process and like really get into her feelings and really get invested, which is sad because like she's such an interesting person and such an interesting figure. So that's why I would give it a 3, because like I never connected with her.
And that's actually what, as I was listening, I'm like, what's the one thing that's like I don't feel connected? And there's other books where I mean my personal experience doesn't match with them, but somehow the author is able to put you in their shoes or make you feel like you're the character or something. And I think that's what was missing here. And I'm like, I mean, my story is not her story. Where like there's not a lot of similarities, but there's also the fact that the authors didn't really put me in there the way others do. So, but then when you were saying all that stuff, I was thinking, what if that was because of the fact she was trying to protect her identity and all that stuff? And I'm like, so maybe in a way they did a good job, but then at the same time, and I still didn't like it.
There wasn't a lot of emotion, so then I didn't feel emotion. It was like reading a slightly more dramatic history book.
Yeah, I feel the same, like 3 to 3.5, because I enjoyed learning the history and like about JP Morgan and everything, but yeah, there wasn't like enough murder and suspense or even love. Not enough
The love was
drama
creepy.
for me. Yeah, the love was creepy.
Spice.
Like I actually like history books or nonfiction, but like
Mhm.
I want to feel like invested. Like
Mhm.
I want to feel invested in the story that's being told. And
Yeah.
because of this like character not fully working for me, I didn't fully feel invested. So
Mhm.
Yeah, and I got a little bit mad reading the author's note, like how much they did just make up. Because I'm like, like we assumed this. We
Yeah.
only knew this little bit and we assumed this large thing. And I know
Yeah.
that's why it's historical fiction, but I think it'd be cool for me if they knew like more of this was actually true. It would be more like scandalous. But now that they're
Mhm.
like, we basically made all of this stuff up because she burned all these records. Like, oh, okay. I don't know what to believe anymore then.
I don't believe any of it. History
That's a
is
good
all
point.
lies. Yeah. Well, historical fiction. On to this one.
We can check the genre off our list.
There you
Yeah, not our fave. We
go.
tried.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Wait, what?
try and read other ones and see if like maybe it was just this specific one, but I don't know. History is just it's tough.
Maybe it's better if it's historical fiction, but like not like a biography, because I feel like The Vanishing Half was also kind of historical fiction, but because the characters were made up, it's like, okay, the author could do whatever they wanted with them.
See, with that one, yes, there was like actual true events, and like you said, the story wasn't actually like based on a true person, but every little event I was like, oh my gosh, I want to know more about it. And I remember I was researching and I was like, oh, what is this? For this one, there was like the books. I wasn't as interested to be like, what is this? Wow, that much on this book.
And then we
I
would have
read
found
that.
spoilers.
I think like a good
Remember.
example that I'm just like thinking about right now, it's not a book though, it's
Mhm.
again a mini series, is like, did you guys watch oh my god,
The
Chernobyl?
JFK.
Did you watch
No.
Chernobyl on HBO?
I
It's
heard of it.
it's very sad, but like very, very, it's about the Chernobyl disaster, like the nuclear disaster that happened in, I believe, Ukraine. And it has a lot of real characters in it, but then it has a few like composite characters.
Mhm.
And you're learning so much history, but also like you feel very invested in the characters. And I think it's mostly accurate, like, because
Mhm.
then I was inspired to read the nonfiction book that they used for all the research, but like you cared about the characters as well. So that was like a really good, like, it's more historical than fiction, but like
Mhm.
an example of one where I think like everything really worked, but it was also like very upsetting and depressing. So, but it's really good.
I read that Dust Bowl one, Four Winds, and that was freaking depressing and I hated it.
Which one's the Four Winds?
It's
Yeah, by Kristen Hanna.
Kristen. She's the one
I'm
from
reading that one. I'm almost done.
Oh, do you like it?
Actually, well, I think it's like pretty interesting. I don't know. I just thought it was like there was a lot going on there.
Yeah,
But I'm
I
like,
guess it's
oh
interesting,
no,
but
like,
like
oh,
depressing.
I think it's pretty good. Yeah, it is pretty depressing, but I think it's pretty good. It's big, long.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the author of the Nightingale, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
That's one thing I remember. So this one.
What genre is it?
This one?
Got it.
I don't know.
She's like, I got it.
Oh,
This is Audible.
This is Audible. Sorry. I'm trying to open the chapters.
Hey, yeah.
Oh wow.
No,
What is this?
another-
This is what?
yes. So I was looking through to identify the gaps, right? How about we don't have numbers and we just have these tiny little symbols for everything?
Oh,
Look at
This
that.
chapter is 4
Goodness
hours.
gracious, Katie, did you not look ahead?
in my, I have the ebook on the library app, and it
Yeah.
says like summer, winter,
Yes.
fall.
So we do
Oh.
have the 4 seasons. And I was thinking of dividing it in the 4 seasons, but fall is super long, and then spring and winter are kind of small,
Mm-hmm.
and then summer can be 1.
I
But
might need to buy the book, guys. I don't know if this is gonna work.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the Kindle version yet, so if you guys think it's better, I'll get the hard copy as well.
I literally was trying to identify in my head. I'm like, am I gonna have to put the first sentence to let you guys know where? Because literally, look,
Probably.
and then the next one is another little symbol. Like,
Oh my
God.
god. Shoot.
yeah.
Why do they do this to us?
They didn't think a book club would read it. So
I'll
It's
create
like I want to
chapters.
write a book, but like no chapters. Just weird symbols. What the heck?
Just get a ruler out, and then we'll read like half an inch at a time.
that's actually funny.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to buy the book because this is not gonna work.
You're gonna be halfway through winter. when
Yeah.
we're
Well, there's
back in summer.
4 Wednesdays in February and 5 in March, so we could dip into the first Wednesday of March if you guys wanted to.
I was gonna say, Paola, for yours, does it at least say the seasons or nothing at all?
It says the seasons, but like autumn is like 4 hours, and how am I gonna know when
autumn
to
is
stop?
Autumn is
You know,
huge.
Like, 'cause even if it's like stop at this sentence, like I'll have to listen for the sentence.
I tried
you
to do
know.
that for, was it Misery? I think?
Misery.
It was
Yeah.
horrible. I missed
Like
it. I
for
don't know where
Misery,
it was.
I had a PDF, so I was like cross-referencing, but
Yeah.
I think I need to just buy the book because this is just too, I can just return this on Audible. Yeah, it's too hard.
My
I'll buy it
bad.
tomorrow then.
That's why I didn't mention
I
that
don't
in my.
know. We could take a longer period of time and read the long autumn chunk.
Mhm.
We could, but I don't mind. I actually don't mind buying it. Like I'll buy it on Amazon and it'll be here like,
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
2 days.
And and the good thing about Audible is you can always return. So
That's cool. I
Oh,
didn't
you
know that.
can?
yeah, you can return a book for like up to a year afterward. So I've done that. Like I was like, I don't mean to offend you guys, but I returned the what was it? The one from November.
It happened one summer.
Yeah, I hated it. So
How did I know?
I don't want you
Oh, that's cool. So if you don't think you'll read it
book, by the
again.
way, just that one. Like from our book
It's
club, I mean.
okay.
I just
I would-
really
Oh, I
don't like
didn't know we could return. Heck
I would
yeah,
up to a
return
year.
them.
After a year, you can't return them anymore. But
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I'm
can
about
switch them
to
out.
put some returns.
yeah.
So can
That's
you just
wild.
like do it for free? Like,
Yeah, like you get your credit back.
so I could just listen to books all friggin' year and return them?
Yeah, I mean, maybe there's a limit. Like I've only
Probably.
returned maybe like 3 books, so I most of the time keep them.
Might
But
have
yeah,
Yeah.
I've returned like 3 books, and I got my credit back. So, and like books I finished, or one of them I didn't finish because I didn't like it. But
Mhm.
What we
That's
could
cool.
do, I'm thinking, split autumn into 2. Winter and spring. Well, that's a big chunk. Never mind. 171 to. Oh yeah. that's
oh,
huge.
it's an editor's pick on Amazon.
Oh.
Despite the chapter dilemma. It is.
Mhm.
There's been a few that we've read without chapters, right? But maybe not.
Just
something as
symbols
tricky, I
now.
agree.
And it's on sale.
Perfect.
I'll get it by Friday. Awesome.
And it's cute.
It is pretty, yeah.
Yeah, it is cute.
Let's see. Summer is 309 to, I think it was 404. Where's my It's 95.
Oh, and I have a gift card, so it's free.
Nice.
Great. Place my
Woo!
order.
135. Should we just do 4 or 5? Do you guys want to go into, or should we do a trial how we did in a previous book, where we try and divide it into 4, and if it's too much or we think we're just not gonna be done by that section, we could do 5 sections and cut it shorter.
I agree.
It's 101 pages each, but the font is pretty big. Like, look at that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice.
Yeah. It's.
Are you guys busy this month? Anyone have Valentine's or President's Day plans?
There's also that.
I mean, the part cards are
don't.
due, but I'm a fast reader, so it's okay. I'll figure it out. I don't
forgot
think that
to
will affect
mention,
it.
Darlene is not here again because she's training her dog, and the trainings
Aw.
are Wednesdays at 7:45. So she probably won't be able to make it if we keep them on Wednesdays. She was like, maybe we could switch it, but I don't know if you guys would like to do that, because I like that Wednesdays don't really interfere with holidays or traveling, because it's rare that people are traveling on a Wednesday. If you are, it's like, what, you know? And Sundays, sometimes you're going back home, or you're, like coming back from the weekend or something. And the same with Mondays isn't too much, but like President's Weekend would be on that Monday, and you're like, So I don't know what you guys think.
You can do it Tuesday.
What about Tuesday? Yeah,
Tuesdays? Tuesdays at
8:30.
same time? I think so.
Taco Tuesday.
Ooh. It was Wine
Ooh.
Wednesdays. We never showed up with wine.
Well, I know.
Dang
Corey, you guys were the only ones. There's maybe 2 of you drinking wine, like at a time.
Tea Tuesday.
Yeah, Tea Tuesdays.
Oh, there we go. Tea Tuesday.
Ah, I like that.
Arrive
So-
early for tea time.
Yeah.
Right? Spill the tea.
Nice.
I like
Drink
that.
some tea, drink some tea. I think Tuesdays should be fine. We
Okay.
can try it out.
Okay. So let's try and do next Tuesday, which would be the 1st.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the 1st. Nice. So
Yes,
right
good
after
one.
Tell
President's
Darlene
Day.
she has to come.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't pressure her.
Did she,
No
did she
pressure.
finish this book?
I haven't checked in on her regarding the book, because she was like, I won't be able to make it. So I feel like maybe she hasn't finished it, or maybe she has, because she was into the history stuff.
Yeah,
She was
really into
homeschooling,
it.
I remember.
Yeah. But I think Tuesdays
My
could
wire
work. I
just
mean,
peeled off my nail.
Maybe Tuesdays will be good, because if we have free time on Sunday, we could read it, but then it'll still be like fresher in our brains. Yeah, I think that'll be good.
The
I'm gonna
only
have
day
to go off
that
by the
doesn't work for me
percentages.
is Thursdays. Like Tuesdays should be okay, but Thursdays are not good for me.
I'm with you. Thursdays I work with this one doctor, and she stays late, and I show up late to home, and like, no.
Thirsty Thursday.
Thursdays are not it.
Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays work better for the weekdays for me.
Okay, so we'll switch it to Tuesday, and then we'll see if we switch it to 5 weeks instead of 4. So for now, I'm gonna put this. This is hard. The sentences. So like from the beginning to 101, which is the last sentence you read is, "We are the only gods here."
Hold on. Say it again
Can you
slower.
put it?
Hold
Can you
on,
put
let
on
me look.
Instagram?
Yeah. I will put it, and I'll make sure I
Okay.
don't make mistakes. But
'Cause I
101
rely on it.
pages.
Mistakes are okay.
Once in a while. Yeah, this is hard. So I'll just put the last sentence on there.
Oh God, it's here.
Okay.
I'm gonna order it right now too. So
Would
we
you
can
say
have it.
as we what? What was the beginning sentence?
Don't read as we pry.
As we pry open. Oh, it's okay. My pages align with it, even on my Kindle. So
Oh,
it's
really?
101.
Nice.
Stop at
Nice.
102.
101.
That's
Yes.
good.
Yeah.
On the
It
Kindle, you
aligns
could
with the
probably
Kindle.
look for it and then highlight it, so then you could have a visual of when to stop.
No, you
Mhm.
just keep going. Just kidding.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, so that's the first section, and then we'll evaluate in week.
Okay, I like
In the
Mine
first
that.
week.
does not. Mine does not line up.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Or mine's not page 101. So
What's your page?
I don't know. I got
Oh.
scared. I'll find it.
Like a word
I-
search.
I also used to way when I first started the book club. I used to look at PDFs online and send them to you guys so you wouldn't have to buy the book. But I don't know why I stopped doing that. I can search for a PDF and then I can because I think the book is a bit old enough to find a free one.
I bought mine, so I think I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah. I bought mine too.
Jeffrey
I
will.
got mine on the library app, but maybe next.
Thank you, though, Judith.
Yeah, thank you.
And thank you everyone for being flexible with the times. I really like that we can just kind of like adjust as we have different
Yeah.
like needs that come up and stuff. So that I really like that about this group.
It
Yes,
seems
and
like our
then-
Wednesday turnout's like a lot better than Sunday was.
Yeah, I like them too.
Mhm.
I do like
Sometimes-
Wednesdays. Go ahead, say.
Hump day.
Yeah.
Well,
Wednesday.
we can try Tuesday for this next book, and then I don't know when. Then we can evaluate, I guess. I think between the two, I probably prefer Wednesday also, but Tuesday
Mhm.
also works, so it should be fine.
Wednesday's my
Yeah.
early day from school, so I have a little more like time wiggle room.
I like Wednesdays because it's the middle of the week and you're kind of like 2 more days and I'm out.
Something to look forward to as well.
Yeah.
2
Well,
days
maybe
in.
we can go
some
back
fun.
when the puppy is fully trained.
Yeah, he's a little.
Will that ever occur?
Yeah. She's like, he's doing intermediate training classes, and I was like, what? And she's like, he's actually doing good. So I think we're gonna
That's a
continue.
thing?
It's like, what?
Is it like middle school, intermediate? Is that middle
I-
school?
Maybe, like, it's not your basics. It's more like, I don't know.
Roll
I'm
over.
actually.
Ramon still needs like preschool. He doesn't even know how to come. Come? Nothing. Nope.
Stop it. That's a funny one, Crystal.
Yeah, no, he's really bad. Only when he wants to cuddle does he come.
He's just independent.
He is. He's way too independent. He can like live life without me, and it makes me sad.
Oh,
That's oh. Okay. Well, I'll
Like
post
he
the
plays
thing.
with himself. He doesn't need me.
I like those type of dogs. Like if you want to play with them, then cool. And if you don't, then they'll just do it themselves. It's okay.
He throws his own ball. It's funny.
Yeah, he does. He does. It's hilarious.
How?
He just goes.
He goes like this. He puts it in his mouth and he throws it and then runs after it. He could just do that on repeat.
That's hilarious.
And he does that with socks. Like he holds it with his hands and he pulls it and he lets it go so that it flings and then he chases it.
Oh my god, what a smart dog.
Crazy.
Adorable.
He's too much.
No, he's
But
not.
he
He's
doesn't
just
come.
enough.
It's creative dog.
Only when he wants.
Self-sufficient dog.
Cuando quiere. Okay. Well, I'll see you guys on the 1st, 8:30, and I will post this so nobody gets lost.
Alrighty. Have a good rest of your week, everyone.
Okay.
Good night.
Have a good
Thank you.
night. Let's see.